My name's Eric Welander. Welcome to my channel. Today, I want to talk about the Aqara switches. Aqara, just as this video is publishing, launched new smart switches in the US. And a couple of weeks ago, they sent me one of them over for review. So let's get into it. Now, if you're not familiar with Aqara, they are a smart home brand based in China, and they've been selling products around the world for quite some time, and they really started to sell more in the US last year. And these new switches that are US compatible switches are a really big move into the US market. Aqara is also launching a new smart home cube controller as well today, and I have one of those. I've been playing with it, and I'll have a video out about that sometime soon. Now, all of Aqara's products center around their hub, which is this circular device you plug into the wall and then connect to your home network via Wi-Fi. Unlike a lot of other smart home product hubs that need to connect to your network with an Ethernet port, it's really nice that Aqara's hub connects via Wi-Fi, because then it gives you a lot more flexibility of where you can put it in your home, and it's not taking up that precious port on the back of your router. Now, one of these hubs does cost around $60 US, but you can often find it bundled with a lot of other sensors and accessories for around $100. But just keep that in mind of that upfront cost before looking at these switches. So these new switches come in 4 different variants. You can get them in a single switch or 2 switches in one. And then you can also choose between each of those whether you want a neutral wire or not. So the neutral wires are often those white wires inside of a box, and they tend to be in newer homes. So it's really nice that Aqara is making some really compelling switches that don't require a neutral wire. One of the few other options you've had in that space is the Lutron Cassetta wireless dimmer switch. The dimmer specifically doesn't require a neutral wire as well. But these Aqara switches are another option in that category. Now, personally, I had neutral wires in the box I wanted to install this in, so when Aqara asked which switch I was interested in reviewing, I picked the double switch with a neutral wire. And as far as price breakdown for these, they've announced that sort of the ranges of prices that you'll find on Amazon. For the single with no neutral, it's going to be between about $38 and $42. For the double with no neutral, it's going to be between $43 and $47. And then for the single with a neutral wire, it's going to be a little cheaper, $36 to $40. And then the double with a neutral wire is around $40 to $44. So definitely some competitive prices. All of those are less expensive than a single Lutron Cassetta wireless switch in most cases. Now, these switches are just a series of buttons on your wall. There's no kind of paddle mechanism in them, but the tactile feedback is very nice. Just clicking them feels very good. It feels a lot like the MX Master mouse that I have here on my desk. And the matte white finish also feels really good. Now, when you turn a switch on, you'll see one of these little, this little LED light on that switch light up. Now, if you trigger these switches remotely, you will hear a small audible click with them turning on or off, just like a lot of smart plugs. These switches use the 2.4 gigahertz Zigbee 3.0 wireless standard to communicate with the Aqara hub. So it might produce some interference in that spectrum for other devices you use, like Wi-Fi or Bluetooth devices on that, same 2.4-ish gigahertz range. But generally, I think it's a good frequency to use. A lot of other smart home products use Zigbee 3.0 as well. So I wanted to put this switch in my son's bedroom, where he has a dual switch, the top of which controls the main lights, and then the bottom one controls a plug. But because I was new to Aqara as well, I needed to set up the hub first. So I went ahead and set up the hub down in our kitchen and had no issue setting it up, but I am really annoyed that it talks to you while you're setting it up, just like the Eufy Cam 2 hub. I don't know what it is with these smart home hubs that talk to you as you set them up, but oh well. And then the switch in the box comes with manuals and everything that you'd expect. I really like the attention to detail of that they've pre-cut the rubber so it's easy to strip on the end of the wire. So then you can attach it to the wires in your switch box very easily. Another nice attention to detail is that the ground wire is removable. If you don't need to use the ground wire, depending on your home setup, you can unscrew that from the back and then it's not taking up space in your switch box. Now, the rest of the installation was very straightforward. Keep in mind that these switches are single pull, so there's no 3-way or 4-way options for these switches just yet. So it's gonna have to be in a situation where you have one single switch controlling a set of lights or whatever. And if you need a step-by-step walkthrough of how to install them, Ray G here on YouTube made a fantastic video with step-by-step instructions of how to install these, so I'll link that in the description below. One other thing to think about if you've never installed smart switches is that, Aqara's done a great job, as a lot of manufacturers, in keeping the switch as small as possible, but it, combined with the wires coming out of the back, can take up a little bit more space than some non-smart switches. So you might, need to cut back some of the wires on the switch or whatever. Just use some crafty, work to just make sure that all the wires can fit inside the box. So once you have the switch installed, you can, cut the breaker back on and then add it to the Aqara app, and then from there to HomeKit and Amazon Echo and Google Assistant. It's really nice that this switch supports all 3 home ecosystems, especially, if you happen to sell your house and someone's not as into, let's say, Apple HomeKit as you might be, then, they still have other options. Now, in HomeKit, it appears as a single accessory with 2 switches. And of course, you can choose the show as separate tiles option to get each of those switches to appear separately within HomeKit. I also set mine up with my Amazon Alexa system, and I had no issues doing that. And I use actually an Echo in my son's room to easily control the lights with voice commands. So is this smart switch a good option for your home? Well, I think some of the pros are that it does have a great design, as mentioned. It has a great tactile feel with pressing the buttons, and it's really nice to see options that don't require a neutral wire. That said, if you're looking for one smart home, smart switch vendor to replace all of your switches in your home over time, right now, Aqara doesn't offer all the products to make that possible. They don't have a dimmer switch. They don't have a fan control. I mean, of course, a switch like this in some cases can control a fan just by simply turning it on or off, but nothing more than that. It's not going to be able to control the speed of the fan, etc., is what I'm getting at. And they also don't have any kind of switch to support a 3-way or 4-way type of circuit. These are only for single pull. That said, they're fantastic switches, and I also love that they have, I forgot to mention in the pros, that they have a dual switch option. Those are very rare in smart switches, especially that are compatible with HomeKit. So to see a really solid option with 2 switches in one, that's fantastic. Now, if you're interested in picking one of these up sometime soon, be sure to follow me over on Twitter or Instagram. I will be posting some discount codes throughout the next couple days after the launch of this video, just to maybe help you save a few dollars on purchasing some of these switches. Let me know in the comments below what you think of these switches. Do they look like something you'd be interested in? What other switches have you previously used, and what did you like or not like about those smart switches? It's great to just exchange ideas with all of us fellow smart home geeks down in the comments. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. It helps other people find it as well. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.